Some of the issues that are important if you want to have people in space for long periods of time. One is that people will tend to lose bone and muscle mass. We know this if you have put a cast on your leg and you take the cast off after a few weeks, you'll see that your muscles have shrunk in size. And if you measured the bone strength, you'd also see that that might have gone down a little bit too. And so it's very interesting that our body has that ability to adapt to the loads that are put on it, so that bones and muscles aren't static, they're always changing. Well, we think of bone as being a solid thing that doesn't change very much. It changes too. And it turns out that in weightlessness, you lose bone. And then you also will cause the muscles that work against gravity, what are called the postural muscles, they'll start to shrink and lose strength. There are other things in the cardiovascular system, the heart and blood vessels. And if you think about it, standing up in gravity means you have to work against gravity in order to keep blood pumping to your head. So if you couldn't keep blood pumping to the head, you'd pass out every time you stood up. Because when you're lying down, you don't have to push against gravity. But when you stand up, you got to work against gravity to keep blood flowing to your head. And your heart and blood vessels have a really nicely worked out system to make that happen every time. But that system can also change in weightlessness. And then the other area that changes is the system that has to do with balance. Again, maintaining your balance is something that you're doing against gravity, right? If you didn't have gravity present, you wouldn't have to worry about falling. But you obviously do have to worry about falling, and we have a very highly developed sense of balance to keep us upright and to prevent us from falling. And when you see what skaters do, you realize just how exquisite a system it is. But when you go into weightlessness, your balance system changes. You don't really notice it while you're in weightlessness, but when you come back, you do notice it, that your balance has changed and you have a little bit of trouble maintaining your balance. And what it shows is that while you're in space, your brain is trying to allow you to function in weightlessness, and so it readapts you to being weightless, which you don't notice until you come back and find out that you're now back on Earth with a balance system that's been adapted to space.